And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second match of the night. We just wrapped up with Matcherino Esports versus Mystery Gaming, and it was surprisingly one-sided. And I'm hoping that we don't get as much of a one-sided matchup here. As before us, we have Starlight Twinkle versus Team Basilisk. And oh boy, I'm ready for it. Oh, the smudge is real. One is darkness, the other is in a hoodie. And here we go in a ZVZ spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have Wayne for Starlight Twinkle. And in the bottom right, we have for Team Basilisk, it is Serral. Here we go. And again, we're just diving right into it. A ZVZ is going to be an interesting one. Serral, of course, he is arguably the best player in the world. He is amazing. He's beautiful. He has trophies stacked right behind him in that case. And he is the highest rated player in WTL. He has the highest ELO amongst everyone involved. But the reality is, as we give a shout out to the sponsors, Doyu, Taidu, Autoful, as well as Honkai Star. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for sponsoring this event. But what I was getting at is that even though Serral is the best player, he does have a weakness. His weakest matchup is ZVZ. Everyone has a weakest matchup. Not even Serral isn't perfect at everything, as much as we would love to believe that. And we have seen him fall many a time to solo in recent times. He has also fallen to Wayne in the past. Wayne has taken series off of Serral this year. I believe it was ESL Masters Summer, a couple of months ago. So he has the capacity within him to do it, to pull off an upset. Can he pull it off here and now in a best of two? That's the question. He's done it before. Can he do it again? It's on Wayne here to really kick things off, to really set the stage for his team, for Starlight Twinkle, to cause an upset, because it would be an upset. The reality is that, of course, Team Basilisk, they are slated to make it into the playoffs without too much issue. They are the runner-ups from last season. For those who maybe weren't tuning in to the summer season of WTL, Team Basilisk did fall to Onside Gaming, and it was in that Team League match where Solar took down Serral many times. Oh boy. So alas, I'm sure Serral wants his revenge as well. I'm sure he wants to, or Team Basilisk, they want to try to beat themselves in how well they performed last season, and do even better this season. As for now, we have some standard openers. Hatch Gas Pool into a third base for Serral. We should be seeing a third from Wayne. It is a little bit delayed, which is a bit odd. So Wayne going for a delayed third. He's waiting for the Overlord to be zoned away. The Lings as well dip into the main base, and Wayne is going for his third. Just a little bit later than normal. It's going to be a little bit later. Maybe he wants to get into the mind of his opponent. Bailey nests are thrown down. Everything is looking normal. Serral, he has another Overlord in position to check that third base as well, to make sure everything is on the up and up, as Serral is going to be the aggressor. We have 18 Lings on the way from our red Zerg player, and the Bailey nest was slightly delayed for Wayne. This is dangerous. Wayne, he's droning at the moment as well. He's moving out with his Lings, and Serral, he is about to pull the trigger. Okay, we need a Bailings back at home. We're rushing into a lair. We're spending our gas elsewhere, and here we go. The Lings are coming across the map. Wayne, we need defenses here and now. Bailings just now finishes. Bailings are on the way, but it may be too late. Serral may be able to just completely shut down this third. Yeah, he gets a full surround, and he will get the third. Bailings are coming in to zone away any kind of Lings to reinforce, and we do force a cancel. Again, Wayne, his third base was delayed. His Bailey nest was delayed. All this means that he wasn't able to protect his third base. And from here, Serral can drone. From here, Serral has an advantage. Now, to be fair, the one advantage that Wayne has is he's taking all of his gases, and he has a fast lair. This could lead into mutants. Up! Up! We're going to be trading 2 for 2. The Queen falls! Not like this. A good pick off from Serral. He gets the Queen. He's coming for a scout as well. And the Ling will slip into the main base and the natural, confirming the lair is already done. A Roachhorn was just thrown down, but I'm pretty sure we're waiting to kill these Lings, and then we throw down the Spire. And there it is. The Spire is on the way once the Lings were cleaned up. So very cheeky move here from Wayne. So far unscouted. But Serral, Oh, he's cutting workers. He went up to 42. He's making roaches. He's pushing. Serral, he saw the lair of his opponent. I believe Serral has no lair of his own, so Serral is all in. He's going for a hatch tech all in, and Wayne isn't ready for this. Wayne is droning. Ah! The droning from Wayne is real, and Serral, he's completely all in. He's sending everything across the map. The Spire will not finish in time. Now, thankfully, Wayne did throw down a safety roach warren, so he is making defensive roaches. He's aware of what's happening. Spinecrawler gets thrown down. The Spinecrawler didn't start. No! The drone did not start the Spinecrawler. The roaches are arriving. Even with the spine, it may not have been enough anyway. As Serral, he wants to try to punish the greed here of Wayne. He will not be done dirty. Not this time. As he collapses on this position. The queens are going down. Roaches as well. Here come the reinforcements. Wayne, he's trying to pull off a defense. He has a couple of mutas on the way, but Serral should have enough to break through. He just has an overwhelming army. The boys, they have to be pulled. Good target firing out of Serral as workers are going down. It's going to be a kill on the Spinecrawler. Wayne, even if he barely holds here, he's still going to be losing a lot of workers. Up. Not the best A move out of Serral. He does end up wasting a lot of DPS on some of these buildings, but regardless, yeah, he's still getting it. It's still going to be more than enough. He gets 9 workers. He gets us around on the third base again for a second time, and he will kill that third. We have a handful of mutas, but a handful of mutas is not enough. As Serral is still rallying in, he gets a full surround here on the army. And even though the supplies may be close, I mean, Wayne technically has a higher drone count, but he has no army, papi. He has no army. You can see him lean back in his chair. GG gets called, and Serral will take game number 1. GG. I say Serral, this week, this is 2 weeks in a row, actually. Darth Serral, papi. Is gonna take it in the end. Again, very aggressive play here out of Serral, but he was aggressive because he knew that he would get away with it. Remember, initially he saw the late third, he saw the late Bane nest, so he's like, oh, okay, I can just be aggressive with Ling Bane, I can kill your third, and he did. He did punish the third base of Wayne. Likewise, afterwards, he got a full scout. He didn't see the Spire, but he did see the gases, and he also saw the fast lair as well. So Serral, he went for a hatch tech all in, was able to catch Wayne while he was droning, so just abusing the greed here of Wayne, the corners that were cut, and Serral does take game 1. But now we're getting ready for game 2, and this is going to be an station. We have Wayne for Starlight Twinkle, and sporting in the top right, we have for Team Basilisk, Serral. Here we go. And again, I expect at least one of our players to open up Gasless, maybe both. We'll see. As it's a bit of a treat, we rarely get to see Raditz at Station. I just realized that we didn't get to cast this map. We didn't see this map at all for the first 2 days of ESL Masters. It was not seen at all in day 1 or day 2 in any region. So basically, like, nostalgia's hitting me because I'm like, oh, we can finally cast this map after like almost a week. And that's what I love out of WTL, World Team League, because there's no vetoes. It means that you can get some of these otherwise typically vetoed maps. We get to actually experience Raditz at Station, whereas otherwise it's usually left untouched. And we do see, okay, so Wayne is going for a hatch gas pool. Serral is opening up gasless. So what Serral is doing, he's taking advantage of the map, and he should be going for a fast third base before gases. I expected Wayne to do this as well. Wayne goes for a much more standard opener, which he's not being as greedy as he could be. And I wonder if he can actually make use of those early gases and what he does with them. You know, with those early gases from Wayne, he can still decide to skip link speed. Maybe he can go for a fast lair instead. Try to tech up quickly. I'm curious. As like fast link speed and fast bailings, I don't think are typically valuable here on this map. As this, that third base taken from Serral. And he's just been heavily droning. Now going to be working on his queens and a handful of drones. Like with a gasless opener, you can even skip links, which is what Serral's doing. He's only making queens and drones, and there it is. So I was really curious what the faster gas would mean for Wayne. I was pretty sure that we weren't going to get link speed, and yes, we'd skip link speed straight to lair. This could be 2-base muta. This could be 2-base muta out of Wayne. He's not really in any danger from his opponents. Serral has 0 fighting units. He has queens. The other thing this could be for something crazy like a fast infestation pits. There's maybe potential for swarm. I'm not too fond of swarm hosts in ZVZ. There's potential for that, I guess, with a fast infestation pit, but this should be for mutas. Well, we'll see. We'll see how this all comes together. As for now, Serral is just droning. Again, just defending with queens. Ling's going to slip in. They're going to get a scout. They're going to get eyes on the third. Nidus all in? Okay. You have my attention. The Overlord's in position for vision into the third base. Roach Warren gets thrown down, and there it is. We have a Nidus Worm. Nidus Worm is on the way. Okay, so not going to be 2-base Muta. It's going to be 2-base Nidus instead. And this could work. Serral has 0 fighting units. He has 0 lings, he has queens, and he now throws down a Roach Warren. But he needs time to actually make anything out of that Roach Warren itself. Can Wayne pull this off? It's going to be close. As I do see Serral still waiting for that Roach Warren to finish up before investing. There it is, Nidus into the main. It has been spotted. Boys are being pulled. The queens are coming into the main base as well. And roaches are on the way. Lings in production. We won't be able to deny it. The Nidus finishes. Transfuse. Up. We get 1. There we go. We barely keep the Nidus alive. The roaches, they bust into the main base. And Serral has nothing to defend. He needs time. We have 8 roaches in production. So far, Serral, he's doing a great job at dragging the army towards the natural. He keeps all of his queens alive. Second Nidus Swarm gets thrown down. And Serral, he's slowly banking up those roaches. He takes down the Nidus in the main. Now we can focus here on the front lines. Now, Serral, he can afford to pull boys. He can afford to lose drones. And there we go. He dives on the army. Trying to focus down the queens. Ignoring the hatchery itself, but there are so many reinforcements coming in. Wayne, he's breaking through the drones. He's pushing his way through the drones on top of the roaches as well. And it looks like Wayne, he has too much. He barely breaks the defensive line here of Serral. We have the defender's advantage. But likewise, additional roaches are coming out from the Nidus. And Wayne, it looks like he has done it. 0 queens remaining here. You can see Serral leaning back in his chair. He knows, Papi. GG gets called. And Wayne, he did it before. He's done it again. He takes game 2 off of Serral. GG. GG, well played. And yeah, we were talking about Radisson Station and how gasless openers are very common, which is what Serral went for. Gasless openers into a third base, hyper greed into that later Roach Warren. And Serral was doing what we expect to happen on Radisson Station, and Wayne was abusing that, took advantage of the greed of Serral. Again, Serral had nothing to defend other than a handful of queens. Nidus got up, and Wayne overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. Oh, Serral just, being a little bit too greedy, being a little bit too carefree here, not too concerned with what Wayne was up to, and was caught off guard. And this is a good start for the Starlight Twinkles. Again, Wayne, he's the ace player for a reason, and again, he has beaten Serral before in best of series, so mate, give him a best of 2. He needs 1 game, he'll take a game. No problem, Bobby, no problem. GG. A good start, but can Starlight Twinkle keep this up? Because that's the scary thing about Team BASILISK. They are a team of champions. They have Serral and Reynor, both reigning world champions, and they have Trigger as well, a rising star in the North American scene. Oh boy, we need a Cham to fight back hard here. What I mean by that, ReWhites, there is a bit of a... And welcome back, everyone, welcome back. If you're in the chat, predictions are open, so you gotta be quick, Papi. You gotta be quick with how you think this goes, either a 2-0 in either direction or a 1-1, as we are back with our second best of 2 of this series. Wayne popping off in that first best of 2, taking a map off of Serral. And can Cham keep up the momentum, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner for Starlight Twinkle? It is El Chamaco. That is in the top right-hand corner. We have a Team Basilisk. It is Trigger, Canadian Protoss. I was about to say, when we got the zoom in on Cham, that is a plugged up socket. There's like 5 different things connected to that one socket. Oh my god. It needs a break, Poppy. Calm down. Calm down. It's so full. It's so stuffed. I don't know why, but my eyes are just directly drawn to it. I don't think that was there last week. I don't think that was there. But regardless, we are getting ready for this, and again, already Starlight Twinkle having a strong start here. It's a 1-1, so it doesn't sound like a lot, but to take a map off of Serral, it's something that many teams struggle doing. Many teams, they struggle taking a map off of Serral, and Starlight Twinkle, they have done it. Can they keep going? For now, we're hyper-fixated on the Overlord pathing for some reason. But yes, the Overlord, it is moving across the map. Yes. As we do have Cham going for a hatch gas pool, forsake the unnatural natural here at his, of course, triangular third base location. No. Likewise, Trigger going for a gate expand as well. Gate expand into a cyber core. So nothing fancy when it comes to the openers. Now, when it comes to our players themselves, Cham, he is a strong Zerg player from Latin America. He's been competing in ESL Masters, Winter, of course, over the past couple of days. Recently played against Eggs in a ZVZ. And Cham is typically very aggressive in ZVP. You know, he thrives in the mid game, like a lot of players, to be fair. Like, there are a lot of players that don't really want to go to a later game. They don't really want to turtle or fight against Sky Toss or anything like that. Cham, he thrives here off of a 3-base economy, sometimes even a 2-base economy. So we'll keep our eye on Cham, and we'll see what he goes for. And when he does decide to cut workers, we're just pointing out that, of course, there is no warp gates, and we have a reason for that. We delay warp gates in favor of a Stargate opener from Trigger. Cham sees this with his Overlord. He knows that warp gate is delayed, so the likelihood of this being a Stargate opener is a lot higher from his opponent. So it should be a Stargate opener coming out from Trigger. Likewise, Cham going in with his Overlord to confirm. Not just a Stargate, he can also try to stick around a little bit longer to get eyes on the first unit coming out. We can assume that it's going to be an Oracle, but it could be a Void right here from Trigger. And I'll be honest, I was going to say I don't remember the last time we've seen Trigger go for a Twilight Council. That's not true. He has gone for Twilight Council openers before. He can spice it up here against Zerg, but for now, it's going to be an Oracle. It's going to be an Oracle first. There it is. Discouraging the betting. You gotta be quick, Pop. We can't have it for 5 minutes. Otherwise, it would still be like, especially if there's like some early cheese going on. Like, I feel like if you leave it open for too long, it becomes a little bit unfair when it comes to predicting how things will go. You can intentionally wait a little bit longer. As we do have the first Oracle getting across the map with the Adepts as well, looking for some worker kills. Cham is in position with his Queens, but can he keep up? The Adepts, they come in from one angle, the Oracles come in from the other. Drones are going down. 5, soon to be 6 drones. 7 workers. We can see Trigger shaking his head a little bit there. He did lose his Oracle, an Oracle for 7 workers. Not ideal, but still I would say a better start for Trigger. Does have a second Oracle coming out. Cham going across the map to try to delay the third base if possible. But Trigger is in position. He keeps his second Oracle back at home. We have a third Oracle on the way. There's our transition. We have a Twilight Council. We'll keep an eye out for a Forge. The longer this goes on without a Forge, the more aggressive this is going to be. We'll see if it's just delayed or if it's intentionally not being built. But now the Lings are forced back, and I don't see a Forge, Papi. This is looking like Glaives. This is looking like a very aggressive follow-up out of Trigger. The Lings are diving in. They get on top of that shield battery. Additional gateways are on the way. Show us your tech. What are we getting with the Twilight Council? Oh, it's no glare. It's charge. Oh my god. Aggressive nonetheless, but we're taking a turn that I was not expecting. Okay. Regardless, very aggressive build here from Trigger. Gonna be waiting for charge to kick in before he does move out. Before that does occur, we have Adepts looking to get into mineral lines. Doesn't make it in. He's gonna be forced back for now. Now, I'm curious if this is going to be just pure charge lots, or if we throw down a Templar Archives and we get a couple of High Templar with this as well. I'm very curious. Now we get a Forge? This is feeling very disjointed. I'm a little bit concerned of how messy this is. Lings, they get a Serral, they clean up the Adepts. Oh, but as that happens, Oracles, they come in once again, getting 3 more kills. And yeah, this feels very middle of the road from Trigger. So the Forge means he does plan on getting +1. And now we're teching. Now we have a Robo on the way. We should be seeing a Templar Archive soon as well. Trigger, yeah, this follow-up is just a little bit messy here. He's going to be losing another unit at his 3rd base. It looks like maybe initially Trigger did want to be aggressive, but now he's changing his mind and he's shifting gears. There's +1. There's that Robo. Meanwhile, Cham is working on an Infestation Pit. Something that Cham has been known for is Swarm Host in ZVP. And Swarm Host specifically against Chargelot Archon actually works really well. So I'm curious if Cham is going to be going for that. Yeah, we don't really see a lot of Swarm Hosts in ZVP anymore. But it does have its place. Yeah, there it is. Swarm Hosts are coming out from Cham. Again, he does do this whenever possible. Now, the reason why this is viable against Chargelot openers or even Glaive Adept openers is because without Blink Stalkers, you have a hard time keeping up with what should be the Nidus Worms and also the Swarm Hosts themselves. They are safer in general, and you can harass a lot more with them. You have a lot more potential to shut down the army or get into a base. Once Blink kicks in, then the Protoss army is much more maneuverable, and you can actually keep up with the Swarm Hosts and try to punish them. Of course, Blink is still on the way, and the Swarm Hosts are coming out. And I believe they are being scouted by those Oracles. Yeah, they have been revealed. Trigger knows, a big scout for Trigger. Now, Cham, he doesn't have to commit. He can poke forward and rely on his Locust Wave to get damage done instead. We have a defensive Stasis Trap being thrown down. The Zealot Rumbai comes in. And the Locust Wave avoiding the Stasis Trap, going straight for the Mineral Line. We're going to get a couple of workers and we do some damage to the pylon. Nothing too major. Not the best Locust Wave, but we do keep the main army back and we get 3 probes. For free, essentially. As we can just hold back and get another Locust Wave going. Oof. Oh my god. The force field. Solid force fields there. Added Trigger catching some Lings. Does clean them up. Likewise, another Zealot Rumbai coming in from behind. Locust Wave looking to try and collapse on these Stalkers, but there's that Stasis Trap. Up. It looks like we will be avoiding it once again. Cham going all in. Diving right on the army, getting on top of the shield batteries. Focusing 2 of them down. Can he get the base? Oh my god. The Locust Wave, it has such high DPS. The Nexus goes down. Meanwhile, a couple of workers are falling. Oh, this is a rough A move out of Cham. He's losing his Road Ravager. Or is he? Here come reinforcements. Cham actually trading well. Forcing back the army, getting a lot of Stalker kills. And we have a Locust Wave that's going to finish up in a couple of seconds. There it is. It's coming in. The Locust Wave actually goes for the Mineral Line. Getting a lot of transferring workers. Swarm Host turning back around. 9 probes go down, getting eyes on the 4th. On that 4th Nexus. And the Swarm Hosts, they waddle away. You can see Trigger, he's trying to catch him. He wants those Swarm Hosts. But really, they're just dragging him out of position. The Roach Ravager comes in once again towards the 3rd base. Going straight for the probes. Cham maybe overextending a little bit. going to be bleeding out a lot of roaches, but here we go. The Locust Wave coming in once again, this time going for the Nexus. And Trigger's being pulled apart left and right. Cham is all over him. Yeah, as it just dives straight on that base. Fourth base will fall. There's no saving it. And Trigger, he's barely mining on 3 bases. He barely has an economy. He's got 1 Immortal with his army. And not a single Swarm Host has died. This is the power of the Swarm Host, especially if you go for something like a Charge Opener. They snowball a bit out of control, and Trigger, he just can't really keep up. The Swarm Host, they've more than paid for themselves at this point. And they're going to do more than that. So they're coming in for another wave. Ah. Yeah, another wave is going to be coming in. This time going straight for those Stalkers, going straight for the shield battery even. Oh my god. Trading with the Stalkers, getting the shield battery in the end. Road Ravager pushing towards that mineral line. And Trigger, he cannot save those workers, not all of them. And he blinks on top of the roaches, so he's going to trade well against the Roach army at least. Zealots, they also hit the fresh mining base of Cham, but I don't think he cares too much about that fourth. Don't think he's too concerned. He does bleed out a lot of roaches, but another Locust Wave. We're coming back in, Papi. We're forcing the all-in, essentially. As Cham, he can actually snipe the Nexus again. The probes are coming back at the wrong time. The probes are coming back. Nova goes off. Big connection. Ah, but it's not enough, and the base will fall. It will not save the Nexus. The third goes down. Trigger, he's down to 2 bases remaining. They're in the units lost tab. It looks like 1 Swarm Host did fall, but only 1. And from here, Cham, he may not have a 4th base, but his opponent doesn't have a 3rd. So Cham, he's able to maintain himself. More roaches on the way. Lings. Swarm Host. It looks like we may see another falling. Oh. Locust Wave coming on in. Do we go for the army or do we go for the Nexus? We're going for the Nexus. Forcing a cancel. Taking down the tech. Diving on top of the Disruptor as well as the Nova is on cooldown. And a Cham is going to snowball out of control from here. There's just too much Zerg and not enough Protoss. 15 more workers go down. Oh, the Disruptor will not connect. And Cham, he's keeping the hopes and dreams alive here for Starlight Twinkle. Wayne popped off earlier against Serral, and Cham, he's popping off here against Trigger. They're harnessing the power of the camel. The camel is coming out strong. Locust Wave, it comes in. GG gets called, and Cham. Oh, look at him go. Papi. He does take game number 1. Whew. Taking game 1 here against Trigger. Again, getting away with going into a Swarm Host follow-up. Getting into that Infestation Pit. Very Cham. Cham, he loves his Swarm Host in ZVP. And he saw an opportunity. He saw an opening where he could go for it just because of Trigger's follow-up from his initial 3rd base, going into charge. Delaying Blink, delaying his more mobile army, and yeah, Cham, he takes game 1. And now we're getting ready for game number 2, which will be on Trigger's map of choice. Solid foundation into this. Needs un momento, papi. Un momento. As again, Trigger, he's still a very young player. Still relatively new to the scene compared to Cham, for example. Cham has been around for many, many years. Since almost the beginning. Been putting in the hard work for a long time here, and yeah, that experience that can really come into play when it comes to calming down nerves and maintaining your composure. I think we have seen before Trigger just a little bit. I don't want to use the pun, but just, you know, a little bit off balance at times. If a game doesn't go his way. That is something that you just build up over time. And here we go. We're getting into it in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura. We have, for Starlight Twinkle, Cham. And in the bottom right, we have his opponent for Team Basilisk. It is Trigger. Here we go. Oh. So far, we have some pretty standard openers. We're getting into our game. Cham going for a hatch first over at the unnatural location, the linear third, if you will. Going to be going for a hatch gas pool. So no early pool timings, no early gas timings, no early shenanigans out of Cham or Trigger either. Ah, thank God. No crazy 12 full openers or anything like that. We have seen that Eric is quite fond of proxy hatches on Golden Aura. We have seen him take down many a strong Protoss with a proxy hatch. But alas, we see that Cham isn't quite going for that. He's not the same kind of Zerg player as Eric. Not that crazy. Meanwhile, Trigger going for a gate into Nexus, into Cybercore. And very by-the-book openers. Talking about the map itself, we were talking about the defensive nature of this 3-base setup, of the choke points. Likewise, there's also a gold base in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. There is a gold, but the gold is also within range of the Zelnaga tower, so it's very difficult to get away with that gold. It's very far out, very exposed. We have seen it taken in ZVZ, and we have seen it taken in a late game scenario in this matchup. Like if we end up in a split map scenario, then the gold base will be taken. But I don't really see Cham and Trigger heading in that direction. Don't really see us going there. But now, going to be a Stargate opener out of Trigger. Once again, he delayed his Warp Gate. Warp Gate was not made. Cham, he's dipping in with his Overlord, and with that Overlord, he should get confirmation of the Stargate from his opponent. So Cham is going to have all the information he needs. Now, the reality is that if we wind it all back, Trigger, even though he got scouted, he's still got a lot of damage done with his first Oracle and Adepts. It was very impressive what he was able to accomplish in those games. So we'll see if he can do that again. So now the Adepts are just going to be dipping in, dipping out. Just making sure that no additional gases have been taken. There's no fast lair. Very important for Trigger to scout. We have seen many a Protoss player fall to like a weird all-in that just wasn't really seen from the Protoss. Yeah, these two Adepts, they are here to get vision, potentially get damage done. Two Adepts do one-shot workers, and we do commit into the main. We get one drone so far, but the Lings are able to keep up. Good control here. Good surround, and one Adept falls. Really nicely handled there by Cham. Really putting emphasis on the Adepts for some reason. I don't know why. Behind this, the first Oracle arrives. Now, because one Adept already went down, it means that there's significantly less damage that can be dealt here across the map. Oracle looking for a drone. We'll get one. Won't quite get the second, though. Nice reaction out of Cham. He goes for a counterattack. He gets eyes on the third Nexus. And he also gets eyes on the third Oracle as well. So Cham's fully aware of what's going on. Ooh, and this is a much more standard follow-up. We have a Twilight Council alongside a Forge. This will be for +1 and Blink. Could be for charge, but I imagine we're going for Blink this time. Well, as the Oracles, they dive into that natural base to get a couple of workers. 2 workers go down. The Oracles are still alive. They can get even more damage done. Meanwhile, Cham, he goes for a Roach Warren and a Lair. I don't see him going for Swarm Host this time. I know that they were the MVPs in Game 1, but it was for a very specific reason, and I don't see that happening again. As there it is, there's Blink from his opponent. Duckling going to be on the way. Ling's trying to get a scout. They almost catching a death. Up, up. Not quite. They don't quite get it in the end. Gases are being taken. Evo chambers thrown down. More drones are falling here. Good trades from Trigger, getting even more drones. It's nothing major, but it's like every time he dips in, he gets like 2-3 drone kills, but it adds up over time. I think that's 7 in total. 8 in total. There you go. Pretty good. And there it is. We have our tech. It is going to be not just Roach Ling. It's going to be Roach into Hydras. And this is interesting. This seamlessly transitions eventually into Lurkers as well, if the game goes on long enough. And here we go. Cham is getting a 4th base. We are pointing out the Overlords, and the fact that we have 4 Overlords on the way makes it look like Cham is getting ready for an all-in. Cham, he's drawn up to 3 bases. He is on 62 workers, and it looks like Cham, yeah, he's just going to be making nothing but Roaches and Hydras. He is going for one big 3-base push. Oh, but he's bleeding out drones, so he has to replace them. Has to make up for his losses. As he's just maintaining his gases. And he's going to be waiting for his upgrades as well. There we go. It's going to be Ling, Hydra even here from Cham. Hydra upgrades still on the way. They just started. Hydras, they have been revealed. We still have Roach Speed on the way, so we're getting some mixed signals as to what the army composition is going to be. Additional Overlords on the way, but again, I do feel like Cham does not really intend on saturating his 4th. 66 drones should be like the cap here for Cham, as he's just pumping out more Hydras, more Lings. We're losing a Hydra even towards the end here. Very expensive losses. Cham, he does have to be careful. He does get 2 Stalkers in the end. I appreciate him shuffling his Hydras around. As the Hydras have been spotted, we have a Bay. We should be getting to Colossus. Now, Colossi will change everything here. Disruptors. A bold move by Trigger. Very bold move, considering that Cham is now hyper-fixated on army production. Is going to be pushing. 1, 2 Hydras get picked off. 3, 4. Oh my god. 4 Hydras. And bleeding out a lot. Bleeding out a lot of his army. Sure, he just wants to lure his opponent out into the open. Cham trying to set up a surround. But he is spotted by the Oracle. Trigger, he sees, he knows. And here we go, the Hydras. Oh my god, both armies, they get caught by stasis traps. And that disruptor count, I believe we have 2 disruptors. It's slowly getting higher and higher. More stasis traps being thrown down here all over the map. Some of them are being caught out. We see Cham trying to break here on the left-hand side. He has maxed out, but he's going to be getting a lot of his units caught on the right. He's trying to engage. Nova goes off. Clips one of those Roaches. So far, Trigger, he is defending. We have the overcharge. No Ravagers. Disruptors are going down. Cham trying to force his way through, but he has to respect the overcharge. He backs off. Trigger, he's holding. He has a massive Stalker army. And Cham is droning. He realizes he cannot break Trigger. Not anymore. Cannot break him. And this is a really rough position for Cham. He's stuck on +1. He just now starts +2. Infestation bits on the way. Droning as well. He does get the base. Very important pick off here from Cham. Does snipe the Nexus. Hydra's trying to come in from behind as well. Forcing back the army, getting on top of these shield batteries, containing Trigger to 3 bases. Up. And this is all Cham has to do. He doesn't have to push in. Pushing in would be a mistake. No, and this is a mistake. A lot of Hydras, they go down for free. Ay, ay, ay. They get one disruptor, but Cham is bleeding out too much. And Trigger, I think he knows. Nova goes off. Yeah, we dive on the army. The Hydras are falling one after the other. A big overextension out of Cham. The Hydras, they are fragile. And it looks like Trigger is snowballing out of control. He cleans up the Hydras, going for a big counterattack. And there are no lurkers to defend. That is what we needed here to try to survive. Lurker tech. And the boys are being pulled. The Hydras are trying to hold on. But again, the defensive play here from Trigger was just too damn good, and Trigger is fighting back in this series. He's looking to tie it up. GG gets called, and Trigger takes game number 2, tying it up 1-1. GG. GG, well played with this 1-1 score. It's going to come down to our final best of 2. It's going to come down to ReWhite versus Reynor. Oh boy, ReWhite versus Reynor is up next, and this is going to be a tough one here. Reynor, he's a world champion. Now, he has been overconfident before. We have seen Reynor lose to lesser players in WTL. That has happened. He's admitted it himself in interviews, just like being a little bit. And we are back with our best of 2, and in the top left-hand corner for Starlight Twinkle, we have ReWhite. And in the bottom right, we have for Team Basilisk, Reynor, going for a 15 hatch. Okay. And we have no cams. This tells us that this is going to be a replay cast. These matches were played earlier today, or maybe yesterday. Makes a little sense, especially because I'm sure Reynor is probably getting ready for his ESL Masters match. So maybe they just want to make sure that they could play their games ahead of time if Reynor was playing early. So yeah, we do have our best of 2 here, and Reynor, he goes for a 15-15, very safe opener, and this makes a lot of sense. So essentially, this opener is a little bit less economic from the Zerg player, from Reynor, but it's a lot safer here. And if you feel like you're the favorite player, and if you feel like you don't want to be caught off guard, then going for a 15 hatch opener makes plenty of sense. This means we get faster queens, we get better crease spread, we get a better Sim City at the natural as well, because that's where the Roach Farm will be, and eventually the Evo Chamber, and you can wall off and completely cut off any kind of way in for those Glaive Adepts. So again, very safe play here out of Reynor, respecting his opponents quite a lot. As ReWhite confirms that. He does confirm the hatch timing, the pool timing, and the late gas. So ReWhite, he is aware. He is aware of what's going on, and yeah, it's from here we're going to be getting into our openers, going to be joining up, saturating that gas geyser. Likewise, ReWhite going for a gate expand into a cybercore. Everything looking as it should in the early game. Outside of the fact that Reynor did open up much more defensively. See ReWhite, he's checking for a third. He will get eyes on this drone. I don't think he can delay it though. Yeah, the drone is going to delay for a couple of seconds. But the Lings arrive and they should force the probe away. And there is that third. Meanwhile, ReWhite, he is of course going for a Stargate. Now, what's interesting here is, I believe he went for, did he go for a faster Cybercore? Potentially. It is going to be a Stargate opener. Everything is looking normal still. ReWhite, when it comes to ReWhite as a player, again, he's still more of an up-and-comer, even amongst the Chinese players. I do think he is still overshadowed by other players like Jeshi, like Firefly, for example. I do think that ReWhite still is looking to prove himself, and he has been performing a little bit better. Both ReWhite and Joliwa Loves, they have both been improving over the course of the year. But have they improved enough to take it to someone like Reynor? That is the question. That is the question. So it is. Oracle is on the way. Third base being taken. We have the Adept in position, making sure that there's nothing to stop him. And yeah, everything has been pretty by the book, and this is typically how ReWhite plays. Like, typically, ReWhite, he's Usually going for much more standard openers. He can snowball out of control in the mid game. I think in the past we've seen him go for Robo Colossus heavy compositions, a more tech heavy style, if you will. That does feel like the kind of player that ReWhite is. But on a map like Side Delta, Reynor, he could be looking to punish him. Despite the safe opener, we have seen a lot of aggressive mid game out of Reynor in his recent ZVPs. Looking to end the game early. Looking to all in and kill his opponents if he sees an opportunity to do so. For now, Lings are moving out. I'm sure they're going to be trying to get eyes on the third base location or even keeping up with these adepts. Up! As they will commit to the shade, they get one! One drone goes down. But only a single worker. The Oracles, they come in and they're going to be able to get a couple of transferring workers as well, but only two. There's potential, but alas, not quite enough damage. Behind this, we do have a Twilight Council on the way. No Forge. This could be Glaive Adepts. Now, we saw the trigger... there we go. We have a Forge on the way. I was going to say that we saw the trigger went for a very delayed Forge when in Game 1 against Cham. But we can see that the Cham... Sorry, Cham? Cham is delayed. The Forge is a little bit delayed, but it's on the way nonetheless, so... ReWhite should be working towards either Blink or Charge. One or the other. Again, they're not lined up as they typically are, but on the way nonetheless. There it is. We have Blink. Again, very standard play out of ReWhite. The Oracles are getting damage done. And they do force a cancel on the fourth. Not bad. Not bad at all here from ReWhite. Getting a cancel on the fourth, even focusing down the drone as well. As Reynor is working on Ling Roach. So far, Ling Roach Ravager is the composition of choice for Reynor. And ReWhite, he's looking to take a fourth as well. So really passive play here from our Protoss. And if Reynor knows what's going on, if he realizes what's happening, he can do one of two things. He can either go all in or just throw down infestation pits and get a fifth base. There it is. There's the infestation pits. Fourth base is on the way. Could even throw down a fifth. And Reynor, he's teching. He's playing very safe as well. Very standard. I'm not used to this, not gonna lie. Where's the Reynor that just like has that killer instinct? He does have a couple of roaches in production, but I think they're more safety than anything. He's making more roaches, to be fair. Lings, they just poke and prod, they get eyes on the fourth. Yeah, infestation bit's done. Hive is now on the way, so Reynor, he is only making roaches for map control. He's just easing things back. Hive has been spotted. And this Hive will grant access to Vipers. Now, I'm curious. I'm very curious how ReWhite approaches this. Now, we mentioned before that I did actually call this like double Robo Colossus production. Feels like the kind of player that Reynor is. He just saw the Hive, and the Hive is indicative of lurkers. So I was about to say that if we see the Hive, this would be the tell to start working towards Sky Toss. That would be the tell for the Protoss. I understand that we still need a couple of Colossi, yes, to defend, to survive. But momentarily, again, if ReWhite pieces this together, he should be working towards Sky Toss, because if we head towards the late game with a ground toss army against lurkers, Reynor's gonna have a massive advantage. Here we go. One Oracle goes down. The first two Colossi have arrived. We have two more on the way. Lurker Den gets thrown down. Again, because Reynor, because he saw the fourth base, he knows that he is free to take up into lurkers. And because ReWhite saw the Hive, he should know that he is free to take up into Skytos. But for now, Temple Archives on the way. Gonna be for Storm. This is gonna be a rough moment for ReWhite. We'll see if he can survive the Hydra Lurker Viper timing. It's gonna be a strong timing, Papi. Ugh. There it is. The Vipers are on the way. Lurkers as well. These are going to be Lair Tech Lurkers. I know there's a Hive, but the Lair Tech because I don't have the Hive upgrades. There it is. We do have Lurker range now in production. It is now on the way. Everything has been scouted, confirming the tech, confirming the lack of sky toss. Oh boy. And yeah, this is going to be an interesting moment here. It's basically no rush 10. No rush 10 minutes. We're maxing out. Both players are about to max. I would say that Reynor has technically the better army, but he's also going to try to break into a defensive Protoss. So it's not as clear cut. But again, I would say that right now, because ReWhite is maxed, this is when we throw down Stargates. This is when we start +1 air attack. This is when we need to start working on sky toss, because if we get stuck here on ground toss, like, it's not impossible, but you know, this is just the window, right? Like, the game is settling. Both players are maxed. We can start teching at this point, even before this. There it is. Nidus Worm is on the way. Reynor looking to be active. +3 range. Adrenal. Adaptive Talons. Here we go. Reynor revealing his lurkers. Takes down 2 cannons. Working through the gateway. ReWhite is going to try to reposition, but pushing into this is not going to be easy. Yeah, the blinding clouds are thrown down. A lot of spine shots are going to be going off, but with the revelation, ReWhite, he does collapse on this army. Cleans up the first force of Reynor. Now the question becomes, does he have any more lurkers? Because he lost his first lurker army. Does he have any more? If he doesn't, Reynor's in some trouble. He's maxed without lurkers? Uh-oh. Reynor, he's in some trouble, and here we go. ReWhite is pushing out. He's going for a big counterattack. This hatchery will fall, and looking at the unit tab, he has 0 lurkers. Now, this is something that I was not expecting. I was not expecting Reynor to throw away his first wave of lurkers and not have anything left. 11 workers go down. The queens are falling as well. The vipers are exposed. 1, 2 vipers go down. Only 1 is left. We throw down the blinding cloud. That is the only lurker remaining here for Reynor. There is no detection. Lurker does hold. Oh, Colossi going down. The first Colossus falls. Do we have a revelation? Do we have detection? It's used on the Hydras, not on the Lurker. Lurker does go down. And ReWhite, he can keep on pushing, and Reynor is in a lot of trouble. He is in a lot of trouble right now. I'll be honest, without lurkers, I don't think he can hold. ReWhite's doing it, Poppy. He's pushing through. He breaks the third base. He's pushing towards the natural. And there's the Skytoss transition. We have a fleet beacon on the way and a second Stargate. And at this point, we don't need Skytoss, but you know, he's working on it. Yeah, it's nice. Oh, that's a lot of lurkers though. Oh my god, the spines! The spines are going off. 1 Colossus goes down. This is a brutal fight here for ReWhite. He's trying to force his way in, and he is gaining ground. Wow, he works his way through every single lurker. 1 lurker left. Do we have a revelation? We do. The final lurker goes down. GG gets called, and ReWhite will take game number 1. We are at least forcing the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Now, when it comes to Reynor's playstyle there, I don't fault him. I do think that he was making the correct calls. He accurately determined that he could rush into Hive and rush into Lurker Tech and Hydra Lurker Viper. But he did have a lot of roaches in his army. He did have a lot of lings. And he only morphed in 6 lurkers initially, and he threw them away. He pushed out with half of his army, with all of his lurkers. He got caught out, he lost everything, and he actually had nothing left. He had no more lurkers left to defend. In the top right, we have ReWhite for Starlight Twinkle, and in the top left, we have Reynor for Team Basilisk. GG. So Reynor fumbling the ball when it comes to his composition, when it comes to how he had constructed his army at the end there. Like, his upgrades were solid, his economy was solid, his tech was solid, but the army composition was lacking, and he was caught out, and things very quickly snowballed out of control. And GG to ReWhite. He was able to find an opening, and he punished him. And we have spoken about this before. I mean, I mentioned it at the start of game 1. Reynor has been known to be overconfident. He has been known to drop maps and drop series to lesser players, specifically in WTL. And I remember it was there was a team interview. I remember Roddy was interviewing his team, Team BASILISK, at the end of WTL Summer, the last season. And Reynor was like, yeah, you know, I was getting too cocky, you know, but I want to spice things up for the fans. And like his team, they were like chastising him, like Serral and Roddy and Trigger. That, hey, mate, what's going on, Bobby? What's going on? You're an animal. But you know that's also part of Reynor's personality. You know, like he's very bombastic like that. He's a little bit less consistent than Serral as a result, just because, you know, there can be moments like this. But he makes for a fun player to get behind, and I'm understanding as to why there are so many people that are fans of him, just because he does have a very outgoing personality. But it can lead to sometimes to events like this, and as a result, ReWhite, can he 2-0 Reynor? He can. Will he though? That's the question. As Reynor, I believe he wants to take the goal base as his third. This is usually the Zerg player's go-to in ZVP. If they can pick any map, Equilibrium is the one to go for, because the goal base can be taken as a secure third, and you can snowball into a very strong 3-base all-in off of it. Off of 66 workers, you can hit very hard and very fast. Or you can just go into a longer game. Since that Serral's gonna give Reynor so much grief. He already does. I mentioned like Serral, Roddy, his team, they give Reynor a lot of grief. Deservedly so at times. Just deservedly so. As Reynor is going for the gold. Gold is on the way. And again, there is going to be a very big power spike for Reynor. Basically, Equilibrium tells us that Reynor, he wants to be more aggressive. He wants to be in the face of ReWhite sooner rather than later. And once he gets that gold up and running, he can just snowball out of control. Now, we'll see if ReWhite can punish the gold base. That's going to be the big moment here for ReWhite. Will he allow this to get up and running, or can he successfully try to pick off workers and try to, hinder the economy of Reynor? As he's going for his own goal. Oh my god. Okay. ReWhite, he responds to the goal base with a goal base of his own. Now, typically a gold base isn't really too valuable for a Protoss player, but this gold also has a rich Vespian gas geyser, and that is valuable to a Protoss player. As the Oracles, they confirm the hatchery location. We have a Void Ray follow-up here from ReWhite. Interesting. Drones are going to be forced into spores here by this Oracle. We do have a Twilight Council and a Forge coming out as well. That's going to be a kill on a spore. Oh my god. Not a bad pickoff from ReWhite. Void Ray is coming out to defend that third base location. And we have a Twilight Council and Forge. This should be for +1 and Blink. Now, I do think that potentially +1 and Charge would be better in this position, just because the gold minerals do give you an influx of minerals. The high yield minerals do give you an influx of resources, and that can actually translate well to mass charge lots, but instead it is going to be Blink. Okay, so just still a standard setup here from ReWhite. Hopefully he does throw down additional gateways so he can actually spend his money and spend his resources, as he will have a lot to work with. Here we go. The Adepts, they do get in, but they get surrounded by the Lings immediately. Good defense so far from Reynor. ReWhite, he's throwing down a proxy pylon across the map. ReWhite, he wants to try to set up a more aggressive outpost here. But Reynor, it looks like he comes across it. Yeah, he does find the pylon, and he's going to be looking to shut it down. Yeah, the pylon will fall. You have 7 gates on the way, so this is going to be a 3-base all-in. This should be a 3-base all-in. And as ReWhite is setting up his all-in, we have Reynor going for his own. That is Queens on the way, Overlord speed, it's going to be a Dropper Lord. The queens, they're going to be taxied across the map with roaches with the creep highway. We're sending it, Pappy. Now, who's going to come out on top? The gateways are still finishing up. Blink should finish up in time for this as well. It's going to be a close defense for ReWhite, as Reynor is pushing. Looks like the Observer just caught on. But here we go. We're sending everything across the map. Both armies are going to clash. I do favor Reynor initially. I do want to favor ReWhite if he takes a more defensive position, though. As he's pushing, though. He's pushing out into a massive army. Yeah, we have Reynor at the same time going for a big lane counterattack. The wall is looking exposed. Yeah, forcing a defensive warp in. Cloud's going to be connected. We have a queen drop into the main. Let's go. Getting into the main base. The Stalkers are trading well against the Lings, but the Void Ray barely avoiding those shots. Now, do we recall back home? Or do we commit? So far, once again, File's going to be connecting. The Void Ray barely does survive. The Oracle does not. Yeah, and ReWhite, he's running out of steam. The Lings, they come in first round. And Reynor, he's shutting down this army. There's barely anything left. We force a recall. And ReWhite is in a lot of trouble. He's still not dealing with those queens. Still struggling. The transfuse is keeping them alive for so long. Finally, the queens are going to be going down. We could try to save them with the Overlords, but no, we're just going to trade as best we can. Oh, they're just so tanky. And here comes a follow-up from Reynor, this time with roach speed. ReWhite is getting caught out. Once again, a big overextension out of ReWhite. Gets caught by those Lings. Overcharge is being popped. We can at least clean up all these things, but the Road Ravager pushes forward. The Overcharge shield battery is going to fall. And it looks like Reynor, he just has too much. He's snowballed out of control. Reynor's 3-way all-in is stronger than that of ReWhite's. And he will break the third. Cleans up the Stalkers, busts into the mineral line, and zones away the army. Again, ReWhite, he just didn't know what was coming his way. GG gets called, and Reynor fights back, and he puts a point on the board, which means we are forcing the ace match. We're going all the way to Game 7, and this is something that doesn't happen too often. Team Basilisk, they are rarely sent to the ace match, and Starlight Twinkle of all teams, they pull it off. And now it comes down to one game. And it has to be Wayne versus Serral, right? Like, Wayne is the ace player for Starlight Twinkle. Serral, a lot more consistent than Reynor. And, I mean, that's gotta be it. There's a world where maybe they can send out Cham, maybe they can send out Trigger. Ooh, it's on Radisset Station. Ooh, uh-oh. Now I'm not so confident for Wayne. Now, obviously, Wayne did all in and kill Serral on this map earlier today, but he already did it once, and he's not gonna try that again. That's the problem. He would not try that again if we load in. Instead, he's gonna be forced to go into an economic opener, into a gaseous opener, and getting into a straight up macro game against Serral in a ZVZ is not an easy thing to do. Typically, when Serral dies in ZVZ, it's against an all-in. You know, it's when Solar cuts workers, or we saw Wayne rush into a Nidus all-in, mutas, unscattered mutas, right, from Shin, from Ragnarok, like these sorts of things. That's a very different dynamic. We have seen Nice a lot on this map, because we cast him all the time in GPO, and what the reasoning for that is, and whether he does come out at some point. I'm sure Roddy, he's also just kind of going through his players, having like a team discussion, like a bit of a huddle on what their plan is. It's got to be Yona. It's got to be Serral. No shot. Oh no, but Serral, he's starting versus Goblin. He's not available. No shot. That feels like a long game. That feels like a long game here for our players. So this is a little bit worrisome. Meanwhile, shout out to Nice. Nice is going to be coming out here in the ace match and drag it out, Papi. go for the sky toss. Cut the map in half. Also, I did just see, it was tweeted actually, WTL, yeah, they did announce that they are sponsored by Honkai Star. Honkai Star Rail. I'm shaking my head. All the anime. All the Genshin. And here we go. We are loading in, and in the top right hand corner of Radizet Station, we have for Starlight Twinkle, Nice. Oh, repping that Calvin Klein hat once again. And in the bottom left, we have his opponents. For Team Basilisk, it is Serral. Here we go. Ooh. So again, Serral, he will have to as we are just getting ready here for our opener, and Serral, he does have a match coming up in ESL Masters Europe, but thankfully we have Showtime's series first, and I think it's Showtime versus Skillus, so they still have to play out a best of 3 before Serral has to play out his own best of 3 as well. So he has some time. Of course, a big shout out to the sponsors, Doyu, Tidal, Autoful, and a new sponsor in... I've just read the name. What is it?
Honkai Star Rail.
Honkai Star Rail. Honkai. I keep wanting to say a different word, but it. As we are getting into this, and there it is, a gate expand out of Nice. Gate expand into a Cybercore. Serral going for a hatch gas pool opener here, back at home. Again, my eyes are on Serral. I feel like Nice 100% is going to be going Sky Toss. I'm pretty sure about that. I'm feeling very confident about that, especially because we have seen Nice do it before. We have seen him rush into Tempest on this map in the past. But really, my eyes are on Serral. How does he approach this? How does he punish Nice? Can he punish him? And can he do something about that pocket base? Now, I know I've been talking a lot about the map, but we actually haven't spoken about the features. So some of the big things here about this is that the third base is a pocket base that you can take very early on. It is very safe, very secure. It is protected by a mineral wall and by rocks as well. On top of that, the fourth base is also very secure with some choke points coming into it. So on this map, typically a player like a Protoss or a Terran against a Zerg, or even in TVP, they can secure themselves on 4 bases without too much issue, without too much worry. It means that Ling and Bailing counterattacks and run-bys are that much more difficult to pull off, and actually to punish the third base timing or punish the economy. Oh my god, as that is a very fast Overlord speed. Curious. No fast lair. So this is looking like mainly for scouting here, and this does make some sense. It looks like Serral, he just wants to secure and make sure he's aware of what's going on. There is no lair alongside this, so we're just droning, we're taking our third base, so I imagine this is just to scout. With no lair, no drop lords. Just for context reasons. That's why I bring up the fact that there's no lair. It means that Serral, he just wants to figure out what's going on. Overlord is in position. Void Ray is on the way. Overlord speed has finished up. And now Serral can dive in for said scout. So again, really interesting opener here out of Serral. Very safe, by the way. Very safe play. To go for Overlord speed before Ling speed is wild. And he's going to at least get a full scout. Overlord dips in, confirms the Stargate, confirms the Void Ray first, before being shut down. Third base is being taken on location. Again, we can avoid Adept Warpins because you don't need Adepts to secure the third on this map. You have one Adept here as a part of the wall. Gases are being taken. And there is no danger of any kind of Lings harassing that third base location. Now, because we already have... There's a lead beacon. Again, we knew that Nice was going to rush into Skytoss. It is the thing to do in PvZ on Radizet Station. Rush into Skytoss. No reason not to. But because we already have Overlord speed, this can lead into a more natural transition into drop a Lord Harass into the mid game, which is what I expect to happen. As Serral is coming in with a second Overlord for a second scout. Oh, but a Void Ray is in position and is going to be shutting down this Overlord. Can we confirm the Twilight Council? Sorry, the tech. We cannot. The Fleet Beacon was not seen. So Serral, despite rushing into Overlord speed, doesn't really know what's going on. Meanwhile, interesting. Only one Stargate. So we are rushing into Tempest. We have seen Nice rush Tempest before. The reason for this also is because the natural is very exposed. This Tempest can actually lay siege upon the natural mineral line without being in danger. So there's a lot of potential here in that Tempest. But we're getting into Double Forge. We're going into Ground Toss behind it. We're trying to hide this build. But the Overlord is coming in. And do we spot up? We don't. Oh my god. Oh, you can see Serral shake his head. He shakes his head on cams. His third Overlord was denied. He doesn't know if this is commitment into Skytoss or if it isn't. And as we can see, Nice is going into a Ground Toss transition. And he is hoping that Serral overcommits to Corruptors. Serral, he goes for a Safety Spire. Now, this can be for Mutas, but should be for Corruptors. Tempest is moving out. And again, little does Serral know that Nice is going into Blink Stalkers. A fourth Overlord comes in, and Serral gets a full scout. He sees everything. It's not on cams, but Serral, he does now confirm both forges. He's making roaches. He saw the Twilight Council. He saw it researching. Serral knows. Meanwhile, the Tempest has arrived, and it's one-shotting drones. 4 drones go down with 4 shots. Stasis Trap as well, catching some extra workers. This one Tempest getting some damage done, but because Serral knows it's going to be a Twilight Council, he can go into Mutas. He doesn't need to make Corruptors. The ground army is pushing out. Nice overextending with that Tempest. He's going to have to turn back around. We have a Mothership coming in as well. But Serral, he's sending a Roach army across the map, and I believe Nice hasn't scouted. I believe he is not aware. Oh, he has a Changeling. Okay. No, sorry, that's Serral's Changeling. I was like, well, he wouldn't have a Changeling. 7 Corruptors on the way. Okay, we're not going into Mutas. +1, Blink, and Storm in production here for Nice. Mothership comes in, and going to be forced to recall back home. And the Roaches of Serral also turn back around. But again, we have a big Ground Toss transition. I'm concerned about the Corruptors. I was hoping that we were going to see Mutas because Serral saw everything. But these Corruptors, they have limited uses. They can take down the Tempest, the Void Ray, and the Mothership, yes. But after that, they're going to be dead supply. Thankfully, it's only 7. Only 7 Corruptors. Serral is working on a Roach-based composition instead. I believe this is unscattered by Nice. I believe he hasn't seen this. He's working towards Storm, but Storm, not the most impactful spell against Roaches. But this is getting very tense. Oh, we're going straight for the Templar Archives. I'm loving this pickle, but we have the overcharged Templar Archives will survive. We still have access to High Templar. But this also means no overcharge on the right-hand side as Serral is getting ready to push in towards the 4th. And Nice, is he in position? Has he been able to split up his forces well enough to defend that 4th? And Serral hoping to try and punish it. He is close to maxing out. On Roachling, Serral, he's been able to drone up to 82 without too much issue. Yeah, and he collapses on this base. Oh, he doesn't force a cancel. That's a kill! Big mistake there from Nice. A big loss as well. Decent storms. But that base was almost built. And now Nice is in a rough position. Serral, he's remaxing. He's getting ready to go in once again. And this gateway heavy army, it's ideally meant to be active on the map. We don't really have much else behind it. We have a robo on the way, but it's a little bit late. Obviously, the Skytoss units aren't too important anymore. They aren't too impactful. If Nice was able to deny the 4th scout, then maybe. the 4th Overlord, but wasn't able to in the end. Like, with that, then this ground toss transition would have been a much bigger surprise, but instead it was just a delayed transition, just because it was spotted. And here we go, Serral coming in once again, trying to deny the 4th. Does take a storm to the face. Does have to back off. Behind this, we see Serral working towards everything. Ultra Cavern on the way, Infestors, Baneling Speed, Adrenal Glands, +2, +1. Everything's on the way here for Serral as he backs off. Drop Lord's on the way. And nice, he's trying to transition to Skydance. So again, it's just a bit of a wonky way of getting there. But nice, does have 4 base saturation. Up and running. It's going to take a while for Nice to really get into that death ball, but he's working on it. There it is. Carriers are in production. No +1 air attack, not yet. We should be seeing that soon. There we go. It's on the way. Do have Serral trying to dive in on the right-hand side, threatening a push, forcing out a storm. And you can see here how powerful the defensive position is here for Nice. Now that he finally gets his 4th, like taking the 4th, that was like the first big hurdle. But now that he has the 4th base, he is very secure. Serral is rotating over towards the right-hand side. He has Dropper Lords. He's going for the pocket. Oh my god, a massive Doom Drop into the pocket base. Nice, he doesn't see this. He's not ready. He has a couple of units in position. Cannons, shield batteries, and overcharge. But we actually rotate towards the natural. Yeah, he sees the stacked defenses there at the pocket base. He goes for the natural instead. There's only 1 cannon. Only 1 cannon. Big storm here on the Lings. But a mass amount of Lings do manage to drop. They take down the High Templar at the same time with the right hand side. The High Templar, no! 2, 3, 4. 4 High Templar go down, and massive losses here for Nice. It did cost Serral a lot of roaches. As you can see here, he plummeted in supply, but he got 4 High Templar. And he forced an Archon, so really 6 High Templar. Very expensive losses from Nice, but now he's slowly taking a 5th base. And more Ultras on the way. Transitions to Greater Spire. But Nice is getting into that Skytoss composition. It's going to take a while. Like, Nice still doesn't have the ideal death ball of an army. He has to refine himself. Has to refine his forces here. Slowly get rid of Stalkers, replace them with Immortals, Archons. Really, Archons are what we need to begin with. Because there are 8 Ultras, Immortals will play a higher role here if we were able to get there. You can see that Nice, he wants to get rid of these Zealots and Stalkers. Oh, but Serral, he's maxed out, he's pushing. Decent pod shots, but oh god, can Nice take a fight here? We have a slow zone, decent storms as well on the Corruptors. We get the Neural. The Neural will connect. The Ultras, they take down everything on the ground. And Serral, he's breaking through. It looks like he's going to be running out of anti-air, though. He is losing every single one of those Corruptors. But he breaks the 5th. Oh, he would have. But it's cloaked. The cloak does keep it alive. The Ultras will waddle back home. With Kindness Plating, with those armor upgrades, they're quite beefy. They will waddle away. But behind this, we're getting into a mass amount of Corruptors. Now, from here, I would love to see Nice remax with Void Rays. There we go. We have Void Rays, Archons, and Immortals on the way. This is the correct call. Everything that's like anti-Corruptor, anti-Ultra. But Nice, he needs time to rebuild. Yeah, the first Immortal is still on the way. The Void Rays are still coming. And here comes Serral. Oh my Got once again some big storms here on the Corruptors. But the High Templar, they go down instantly. But it's going to be enough. The storms are barely in time. Nice, he holds once again. It's a battle for the 5th base. And more cannons, more shield batteries, more High Templar. Second Robo's on the way. We needed that Robo earlier. And because of Serral's economy, he can afford these trades. He can still afford these trades. He has a Greater Spire. Once he gets good enough upgrades for his Corruptors, he can go into Broodlords. But now though, once again, Serral is maxed. Once again, Serral looking to break this 5th. I do appreciate we have a War Prison with those High Templar. They are safer against the Ultras. Change easily coming in. Serral, he's looking for an Abduct. Oh, he's in the charge. He wants the Mothership. Gets the Carrier and the Mothership in the end. Both will go down. Good pickups. 1 for 1, actually. Losing 2 Vipers in the process. We can replace the Vipers. More Immortals on the way. Now, as the Immortal count gets higher, obviously the Ultras lose value. As the Ultras lose value, and we have plenty of Corruptors, that's when we start working towards Broodlords. So again, Serral, he wants an overinvestment into Immortals. He wants it back. 6th base is going to be denied. Big storms here on the Corruptors. But I think that was the final storm. Ultras are going down. Oh my god, they get annihilated. And this is when we stop Immortal production. We just cleaned up all the Ultras. There it is. 11 more Corruptors on the way. And this should be for Broodlords. And Immortals, they're going to be useless against Broodlords. There it is. Broodlords are now in production. And Nice doesn't know. That's the problem. Nice, he doesn't know that we're done with Ultras. He's still in the dark. Now, with these Broodlords coming in, we need Tempest and Carriers. Tempest, we need like proper Skytoss. Tempest, Void Rays. Couple of Carriers. I think we have enough Carriers at this point. Yeah, 4 to 6 Carriers is enough. Oh, as Nice moves out, I believe he hasn't seen the Broodlords yet until now. Big Fungals. Massive Fungals on the army. We're trying to force our way through. We're trying to get on top of the Broodlords, and we're getting on top of maybe 1. But we're taking a lot of hits. Yeah, big power bomb as well. The storms are okay, but this is a big overextension. Nice. This was not the move out that we needed to go for, and he's going to lose everything as a result. Yeah, a big blunder here from Nice, and that may just be game. He loses everything. Everything that matters. He's trying to go for like a ground toss transition, but the Broodlord count is too high. Things are close. Like Nice, he was keeping up for the most part, but alas, it looks like he wasn't ready for the Broodlords, or he was hoping to catch the Broodlords as they were morphing. But yeah, he loses his Skytoss army. He's forced to back off, forced to retreat. Serral has remaxed. And going Blink Stalker against Mass Broodlord like this, not impossible, but really difficult. And more Broodlords on the way. Serral throws down a Hydroden, so if the Broodlords are dealt with, we're going to have Lurkers, like that's the goal. We're going to be working towards a Lurker transition. Help support those broods. As I'm sure you're well aware, Lurkers, they dominate ground toss. And that's going to be the direction that Serral is headed in. Yeah, we just make sure we have vision of the main base, vision of the production. We could potentially even Nidus into the main as well. Broodlords are pushing out. They're looking a little bit exposed. We could maybe get 1, but yeah, we respect it. Backing off. There's that Lurker Den that we were talking about. Again, because Nice is transitioning into ground toss, so we need to transition to Lurkers. So again, really good teching out of Serral. Really nicely done. As at the same time, the Corruptors, they dive into the main base. They're going to be camping the production, forcing a recall, caustic spray on 3 of these Stargates. A lot of Corruptors are going to go down. They don't get any Stargate, actually, so a rough trade. But you can see here, he got 4 Corruptors, and we're working towards Hydras. We're working towards those Lurkers. It's happening. We're getting there. There's Lurker Rage is on the way. Now, Nice has maxed out. Actually has a higher worker count than his opponent, which is surprising to me. Gets a Viper. Good pick up. Gets a Queen. But the reality is that as we're getting into Lurkers, that forces Skytoss. We have to go back into Skytoss. But that is why Serral is trying to shut down those Stargates. If he does, then Nice will not have an answer to the Lurkers. He will not have a direct answer to it. And that's why it's so important. There it is. Every single Stargate goes down. But we do have 3 more on the way. There we go. 4, 5 more Stargates in production. And there it is. The Lurkers have been revealed. And now we are recommencing carriers because we have to. From scratch, though, that's a problem. Meanwhile, Serral going for his own counterattack. He has his Lurkers to defend his northern bases, which means his Broodlords can attack towards the south. Speaking of bailing, Runby is coming in. We do have a wall of cannons. Oh, is it enough? Up! The Bailings, they make it through 1, 2, 3, 4 cannons. They make it into the mineral line. Oh my god. And they burrow. They burrow in the mineral line as well. Cheeky moves out of Serral. Nice. He at one point had a better economy. Now, not so much. Oh, the Corruptors are being caught out. A lot of Corruptors are falling here, which is a little bit worrisome. Yeah, he's throwing away a lot of Corruptors here. I don't think Serral is fully aware of the Skytoss that's coming out. Like, everything that Serral has shoots down. He has Lurkers, Ultras, and Broodlords. Again, like, he has, like, the anti-ground Zerg army. Sorry, the ground Toss army. He has everything he needs to deal with these Stalkers. But we're building up carriers. Oh, and the Lurkers are out of position. Oh, this hatchery, it may go down. And 1 Lurker falls. We don't go for the base. I feel like we probably could have, but yeah, Nice, he doesn't want to get surrounded. He doesn't want to get caught out. We have Lurkers in the front. We have Lurkers behind. Yeah, this is kind of working. Like, as Nice is bleeding out some units here and there, he is replacing them with carriers. He's banking up carriers back at home, looking to be a surprise here for Serral. He's going to rotate around. And more carriers on the way. Oh my god. The Stalkers are taking a lot of hits, Papi, a lot of hits. But I would love to see Void Rays. I'd love to see Void Rays as well. As we do see 2 hatcheries going to be focused down. Oh, actually, the Northern Hatchery survives? No shots. Barely does survive. And now Nice is looking to collapse on these Lurkers. They are exposed. They are looking quite exposed, but he has to be very careful with how he engages. There it is. There are the storms. Oh, this is a rough trade, but we clean up the Lurkers. The Broodlords are coming from behind the Fungal. Big Fungal on the army. High Templar will fall. Go base being denied. I still can't believe that Northern Hatchery survived somehow. And we're making 5 carriers at a time. But nice, he's losing his base. He's running out of money. Nice, he needs another Nexus. He desperately needs bottom right. Meanwhile, he's ignoring the lurkers. He wants to snipe the hatchery himself. There is one lurker in position. Meanwhile, nice. So be careful to get surrounded. We have lurkers coming in from every angle. There it is, another big fungal. We just recalled. We can't recall again. Yeah, nice. He's losing a bit too much here. Too much too quickly. As we're still making carriers. Okay, we have 17 Corruptors. That's our anti-air. 17 Corruptors, 2 Vipers, and 1 Infestor. Infestor is out of energy. Goal base is going to be denied. Nice. He's being starved out. He's just running out of resources. And here we go. The carriers finally move out, and we got to go. Now that the carriers have been revealed, we do need to pull the trigger. Can we pull it off, though? Oh, the armies, they are posturing. The lurker army is. Yeah, the carrier production has just been confirmed by the changelings. Corruptors are on the way. We're up to 21. 3-3 Corruptors. Against the 3, I think the 3-2 Skytos. A good start here for Nice. Let's catch a lot of Corruptors here towards the end, even a lot of lurkers as well. Doesn't want to throw away their Stalkers. Does have to be careful. Good feedbacks with High Templar. They're going to be going down. Oh, they barely do feed back the Vipers. But one Power Bomb will connect, and one Power Bomb is sometimes all you need. Yeah, we dive on the carriers, and there are just too many. Are there too many Corruptors? Up. We're going to stand and fight. There are not enough Corruptors. Nice. He's barely breaking through, but does he have enough to keep on pushing? I still kind of want Void Rays. Nice. He's run out of money. He has run out of his bank. Serral hasn't. Serral, he's making 13 more Corruptors. Yeah, and it looks like Serral, he has too much. Nice had potential in this game, but there were a couple of times too many where he threw away his army. GG gets called, and Serral will take game number 1. Or we'll take the ace match and win it all here for Team Basilisk. GG. My brain was still thinking best of 2. GG, well played. Serral will take down Nice, and he will win it all for his team. Very nicely done. Nice, he was holding his own for a long time, but there were a couple of moments where he was caught out, where he did bleed out too many units, and because he was losing so much of his army, he was having a really hard time defending his 6th base. He couldn't hold on to his 6th, not against the mass lurker play, and congratulations, Team Basilisk, they do win it all. It was close though, it went down to the wire, it went down to the ace match, so very proud of...
Or should he just keep going 24/7? The choice is yours.
Well, you know what we could do?
Uh-huh.
You know what we could do?
Uh-huh.
What if, because we're gonna have a catch-up stream later on. What if we do one best of 7, one team league match from day 1 today, and then for the catch-up stream that we do next week, we have 3 best of 7s.
Fine.
3 and 3.
That sounds fine.
Okay, so we are not done. We have some catching up to do. Yesterday, we were casting the B stream for ESL Masters. We were covering the B stream for ESL Masters Winter, which means that we missed out on day 1. We missed out on day 1 of WTL this week. And we are not one to miss out on a broadcast, Papi. We're going to catch up. So we're going to be going on an extended break, maybe 5 to 10 minutes as we set everything up, set up all the overlays, and set up all the matches and casting tool, because we have the replays of last night's games. So we're going to be going on a break. When we return, we'll have some more World Team League action for you. We're going to be coming at you with a Shopify Rebellion versus the Kwangdong Creeks. The night, it's still young. No sleep, Happy, no sleep. We'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. See you soon.